Yesterday's quick-fire phone-in only yielded 3 calls. My mistake. I think panel beating was too narrow a topic. So today we're going to open it out with the question, what is the best thing? What's the best thing of all? So far we've got Sky Plus, a cup of Brazil nuts, that was amusing, livestock, valid, and wet wipes. That was a fascinating call from an elderly lady in Hempton. Let's have some more. Line 2.
The first smile of a newborn.
Ah, who could not like that? Who could not like that, though?
Herod.
Yes, Herod. That's right, because he was a baby killer.
He enjoyed... Yes, he killed lots of babies.
He did. We don't like him. Line 4, Sean.
Oh, it's got to be your radio show, Alan.
Oh, yeah. I have no need to... You've saved me a lot of money on toilet paper now because you've already done the job for me, as it were.
Your arse licker.
Yeah, all right. Well, obviously that's the implication, you know. Line 6, Stuart.
It's sliced bread.
What about sliced bread?
Sliced bread, it's the best thing, isn't it? 'Cause that's what people say. They say, it's the best thing.
Yeah, but
sliced bread is.
Well, that's a phrase, but it's not actually the best thing, is it?
Can I have a T-shirt?
No, of course you can't. That's just a turn of phrase.
Yeah, but it's the best thing, isn't it? Because also it's what people say. They say the best thing is sliced bread.
I know they say that. I'm familiar with the phrase, but it's just a turn. It's not literally true.
Then why do people say it? Of course
Because
it's true.
it's not...
Sliced bread is the best thing. It's the best thing. It's
stop.
sliced bread.
If you keep saying it, Stuart, it's not going to make it any more true.
We all know the phrase, mate.
We all know the phrase. It's just an idiom.
You're an idiot.
No, an idiom, not an idiot.
You're an idiot.
No. You're an idiot for not knowing what idiom is. It's clearly confused you because you think I've just substituted the T with an M. You stupid gim. You momal mwam. What you got?
Maybe that.
You're a compleem cunm.
Well, I think you're a prick.
Right, get rid of him. Sorry about that. I should have knocked him off more quickly. I wasn't quick enough. I apologise.
And a dick.
Shit. Right. Right, well, he's gone now, but I'll continue to speak my mind about him. Stuart, I've got to say, I think the Clifton Suspension Bridge was built for people like you. The fact that you can drive cars across it is a bonus, so do the decent thing. And leave the keys in your car so someone can shift it afterwards. And please don't call in saying I'm encouraging people to kill themselves.
Again?
Yeah. I'm suggesting that one person throw himself off Clifton Suspension Bridge because he is, and hopefully soon to be was, a very unpleasant individual. A bit like Jamiroquai. OK. Now, you're sitting there and you're thinking, OK, Alan, Forward Solutions sounds pretty amazing, but we want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Well, let me introduce to you 2 horses whom I've rocked into Forward Solutions. Please clap your hooves for my 2 rocking horses. I'll just introduce them. Jackie and Jackie Tootle. Now, Jackie and Jackie Tootle. A little bit confusing. Presumably, you're Jacqueline and you're Jack.
No, we're actually both christened Jackie.
That's hilarious. But to avoid confusion, what I'd like to do is refer to you as woman and you man. Now, woman, you were one of the first people to embark on my Forward Solutions programme, weren't you?
Yes, well, I realised that a lot of my problems stem from my childhood.
Right.
My mother was very critical of me as a child, and she used to tell me I was fat.
Bitch.
Well, no, she had her own issues.
OK, fair enough.
But my father wasn't around when I was growing up.
Ah, right, bastard.
Because he was killed in a car crash.
OK, not a bastard.
Well, he was drunk driving, so...
OK, so sort of a bastard.
Well, no, he had his own issues as well.
Make your mind up, love, you know, you can't have it both ways.
Well, my therapist says I can, actually.
Yeah. Carry on.
So,
Yeah.
that was my best birthday, as you can imagine.
Right. Sorry. Sorry, I've just pressed a button here by mistake. Sorry, I'll just sort that. Keep going. Sorry about that. Just sort this out.
So that wasn't the best start in life.
Okay.
And then I met Jackie, who's the love of my life.
Yeah.
And as well as us both being called Jackie, we both actually have an allergy to dairy, which is quite unusual, isn't it? And you know, we have to avoid milk, of course, and cheese, and all sorts of lovely things, pizza, for example. But if we do have any milk, it does mean that we will get a very bad rash, and at worst, it can actually make your face puff up and stops you from breathing. So we do really have to avoid any type of milk, and we have to limit our diet. Unfortunately, our little son has a condition. It's a lot more severe for him. He went to a children's party, as kids do. He did have some milk chocolate offered by another child, and he did actually have quite a severe allergic reaction.
Oh my God.
And it put him in hospital, which was terrible for us. I mean,
It sounds amazing. It really does.
So a bit of banter.
Okay.
Just keep it light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Off we go.
Right.
Norfolk Today with Eddie Shepherd and Terry Cohen.
Good evening.
Good morning.
Yes.
This is North Norfolk Today.
In case you're wondering if Eddie Shepherd has had his adenoids removed or has finally cut down on the fags, neither is true. You're listening to Alan Partridge. Eddie's adenoids continue to block the vast majority of his nasal passages, and he continues to smoke like a gangster in a 1940s film, who even the other gangsters think, smokes to excess, and tell him so.
And Alan's in for Eddie all week. It's great to have you with us, Alan.
Pleasure to be here.
Very welcome.
Thank you. And thank you. I'm very happy to be on the show. I listen to it every morning.
Oh, do you?
In Cafe Nero, yes. By default. I mean, they pipe it in. So
Right.
You provide the soundtrack while I chomp on my egg panini with extra egg. An extra egg.
Sounds delicious.
It is.
It's 7:01,
Very nearly.
and it's time for a review of today's papers with Alan.
Right you are. So I have got some big tits for you. Tits bits. Doubling tit bits.
Freudian slip there. Oh dear, sorry about that.
I don't know what all the fuss is about, really. I mean, they're just pointed sacks of fat on the upper torso of a woman, for goodness sakes. What's the big deal, people? I mean, we've all got our favourite, gland. Mine happens to be the mammary. The Independent leads with government in secret spending cuts.
That's yesterday's paper you got there, Alan.
Right, I've read all yesterday's papers. What am I going to do? And now traffic and travel.
We haven't got that in yet. We haven't got traffic and travel.
That's fine. The roads today are fairly normal. I'm being told that there are potentially going to be some hold-ups. Nothing major, nothing that I can be specific about at this stage, but generally be vigilant, drive in a normal way, and stay tuned for more traffic updates. I hope that is helpful. The police also say to be careful if the roads are icy, but they're not suggesting they are at the moment, though they may be. Just keep your eye. Just drive sensibly, for Christ's sakes.
7:03.
Well, it is now. Yeah.
If you're scratching your head wondering why Simon Denton is sitting on the sofa, do not adjust your set.
It does look odd.
Simon is here to introduce his very first item, perhaps the shape of things to come.
Well, just a one-off. He's on holiday on the sofa, but he lives at the Digi-Wall.
Simon.
Now, when one pensioner's local cinema closed, his plans for a birthday movie were scuppered. That was until his friends decided to step up and reenact his favourite Hitchcock film, Rear Window. I went along to take a look. And action! And we're off.
Oh, that was so good. That was great.
It's good for you, mate. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's grainy black and white. Is that to look a bit...
Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's lovely, yeah. I mean, Rear Window's in colour, of course, but I don't think that matters one bit. So how did this land in your lap?
I just mentioned it to Howard and he said, yeah, give it a go.
Yeah. You know, you could always talk to me about work stuff like we agreed, mate.
Yeah.
Quick shot of you nodding.
It's just an edit point.
Edit point?
I've been here a while. I'm starting to learn how things work.
Are you?
Here comes a good bit.
Excuse me. Tiff, you're not gonna... They've got to take a rain check on Cornwall. I know. I got a couple of Japanese business associates flying in from Japan to possibly invest in the blooming production company, so...
What business associates?
John Kawasaki and John Suzuki. Yeah.
John Yamaha couldn't make it.
I suppose they are both named after Japanese motorcycle brands. No, I tried to move it, but I said, John's, could you make it any other weekend? But they said, no can do. No can do. Yeah, I know, Japanese, the way they do talk in a slightly funny way. You shouldn't really laugh. Yeah.
Japanese.
There.
Don't dick me about.
Places, people, and we're back in 5, 4.
Oh, Simon Denton reporting there. Didn't he do a good job?
And they were so welcoming, not just Annie Arnold at number 10, but all her neighbours on Davenport Close in Kirkstall. A real community.
Oh, lovely.
Are you allowed to give out someone's name and address like that on camera? I'm not sure.
Don't know.
Right, I shouldn't have assumed you knew. It's just that when you've been here a while, you learn how things work. Yeah, we're all right.
Our apologies there, just for a slight slip-up. It's live TV. We all have our moments.
He doesn't have all this problem, but he just sticks to the jokes.
I had the VT to...
Can't you do both?
No time, mate.
We want to giggle.
Give us a break.
I did, remember? OK, let's kick it up a gear. This is state-of-the-art technology. It's an electronic gauntlet linked to a computer. I'm going manual. OK. It's a combination of an iPhone and a Wii, and it's called a YI. And interestingly, it was developed in Newcastle by myself, Intel, and Jimmy Nail. I only wear the glove on the one hand, a bit like Michael Jackson, except my glove will not be used for evil. OK, let's start by having a bit of fun. If people were pies, who would have a positive filling? Let's take a look. That's right, it's Trevor Phillips, chairman of the Commission for Racial Equality. Trevor is a very positive person. I met him 2 years ago at the Pride of Britain Awards, where he was winning an award for being least racist person or something. And afterwards, after the ceremony, he'd had a couple of drinks. And actually, I think I'll do this. Actually, that's a bit weird. Yeah, he'd had a couple of drinks. And Trevor made some pretty derogatory comments about the Welsh. And I said, hey, Trevor, give that award back. And he said, Alan, I'm not racist. He said, but you've got to draw the line somewhere. And without missing a beat, he said, and that line is somewhere around Shropshire. Very positive person indeed. Who else would have a positive filling? Let's take a look. That's right, it's my very good friend, Norfolk-based intensive farmer, Bernard Matthews. Bernard is a very positive guy. He gets a lot of flack from the pro-chicken brigade. Unnecessarily so, because he really does have chicken's best interests at heart. I was chatting with him about this the other week at a cockfight in his front room. And I said, Bernard, don't listen to these people. I mean, how much space does a chicken need, really? If you do give them space, they just run around like idiots. So, you know. But he's got a great sense of humour. I was at a party at his house a few weeks ago, and he said to me, Alan, are you a leg or a breast man? I said, do you mean chickens or ladies? And he laughed. He said, but no, seriously, Alan, he said, when we get them in a confined space, he said, they make a hell of a racket. I said, do you mean chickens or ladies? And he laughed again. Yeah. Not quite as loudly as the first time, but he did laugh. And then he said, no, but seriously, Alan, he said, when they reach a certain weight, we electrocute them, slit their throats, then gut them. I said, do you mean chickens or ladies? And he asked me to leave. OK, if a pie had a negative filling, what would that look like? Let's take a look. That's right, it's Chief Superintendent Charles Brownlow from the Bill. Don't know his real name. 2 years ago, Brownlow, when I told Brownlow 2 years ago I was going to write, direct, produce and act in my own play about the life of Sir Thomas More, Brownlow said, don't do it, Alan. You're not a good enough writer, you're not a good enough actor, you'll just look like a tit. Really, Brownlow? Well, when I put that play on tonight, there's only going to be one tit, and it'll be you. And you'll be a tit eating a pie. And you know what flavour that pie will be? Humble pie. By the way, when I had acting lessons for my debut tonight, I hired the best in the business, crocodile shoe-wearing Geordie hardman, Jimmy Nail. And Jimmy, when he trained me, he said to me, he said, Alan, he said, I divn't fuck a boot. And he didn't. He really didn't. Today we're talking condiments. You're stuck on a desert island. You're allowed one condiment. Which is it to be? John in Sproston.
Ketchup.
Harry in Bodham.
Mustard.
Kev in Norwich.
Gravy.
That's not a condiment, it's a hot sauce.
Bristol then.
That's a brand of gravy.
Bronson pickle then.
And that's a relish. It's 8 minutes to 12 in less than 1 hour.
Mustard.
Myself and sidekick Simon
Man the barricades.
will come face to face with one of the most beautiful women in the world.
Anthea Turner.
Anthea the Body Turner.
Ooh. You like her, do you then, Alan?
What man doesn't? Seriously, what man doesn't?
Oh, no, hardly any.
Exactly. She...
Stevie Wonder.
or Ray Charles.
Any blind man.
Yeah. She is the Ford Escort Cabriolet of middle-aged women. Sleek, petite, a little bit racy.
0% finance available.
It doesn't even make sense. But it's still funny, still surreally funny. Which is why we booked you.
Power steering.
By the way, please don't text in. The woman/car thing is exclusively for myself and sidekick Simon. We're just doing that. What's that word you used?
Riffing.
We're riffing. We're jamming.
Yeah. Well, riffing.
Yeah. And I gotta say, it's always like this, isn't it?
It is,
we had brunch.
I had lunch
on Sunday. Yeah. You had lunch because I would turn up at about 11:30.
Yeah, I know. I pitched up about 12:10.
He puts up 12:30, like blooming rolls in like Lord
Vader,
Lucan, and what did you order?
I had the Thai fish cakes.
Yeah, that's right.
You sat there stuffing
No,
yourself.
don't tell me what I had. I had the. I had. Can't remember. You're listening to North Norfolk Digital with Alan Partridge. No, it's gone.
You right, Alan?
Yeah.
Yep. Thought I'd lost you there. Away with the fairies.
There's only one fairy in here.
Yeah, I'm looking right at him.
Hey, you cheeky tit! This is great banter. It really is. So anyway, there we were having lunch, brunch. Call it. What do you call lunch and brunch when they're combined? What's the
blunch? Is it a blunch?
That's excellent. Really good.
And I'd got the supplements, hadn't I?
We spread the supplements out on the coffee table, and I think we had a bit of a tussle over the motoring section.
We did a bit. We locked horns.
We grappled.
We wrestled for them.
We didn't wrestle, but you gave me a bag of crisps, didn't you?
Yes.
Cheesy onion, cheese and onion.
Cheese and onion.
And now normally when I open a packet of crisps, I open them at the top, but Simon showed me a technique whereby you splice the packet down the side, lay it flat, and share the contents.
Hippie style.
And I think, in all seriousness, it was at that point that I realised that here was a guy who's prepared to push the envelope.
Cheers.
Oh. I'd love to see you open an envelope, probably do it in a very unconventional way.
OK, I've come up with a top 10 list of things not to say to a customs officer.
Time for travel update with Chris Gifford. Kippers, that's what I had. London, the year 2023, and leather-clad renegade Nero Costa is on the run. With the police now able to detect wrongdoing before it's happened by accessing our brains over Wi-Fi for signs of thought crime, police are able to apprehend so-called plea-criminals without trial. My character, Nero Costa, is wanted for the murder of a politician he has yet to even meet. Viva la revolution! The stuff there of some dystopian sci-fi movie, currently seeking seed finance and a distributor. In real life, though, with the thought police confined to the Guardian's comment pages, we rely on mass imprisonment to curb crime. But some criminal justice campaigners even take issue with that. Why? Well, in 1971, researchers at Stanford University conducted a prison experiment in which volunteers were given roles as inmates or guards. Within days, the guards had become sadistic and cruel, the prisoners servile and weak, a power dynamic familiar to anyone who stayed with their wife's parents at Christmas. I have personal experience of the kind of damage the Stanford experiment can cause. In 2004, I'm ashamed to say that I took part in a Channel 4 rehash named Loose Screws.
If you ever want to see your kids again, you better start showing some respect! Right, who's next?
The series was never broadcast.
Where's Vernon?
Academics pour scorn on our prisons from the comfort of their leather big chairs. But how many have ever been in a prison? None. Whereas I've come to sample a bit of porridge firsthand.
Not the kind I have for breakfast. Organic oats, linseed, sliced nana, all washed down with piping hot coffee and my tablets. But it's Alan Partridge, I've got permission. But the kind of porridge served at Her Majesty's pleasure, with the only piping hot coffee is the hot coffee thrown in your face by a troubled teenager with a rubbish dad. That's right, Borstal. Tissue, item, semi-used, access key insignia with leather toggle. Chicken shop wet wipes, 5 units.
I didn't want to go to a men's prison, but seeing as the women's prison didn't get back to me, I would be incarcerated here in a youth offenders institute.
For the homeless.
And the gloves?
Why? To kick off, I spent what seemed like an hour with prison governor Maurice Pelt.
It's about carrots and stick, isn't it? Although you can hit people with a carrot.
He said the boys nicknamed him Strangeways because he used to work there, but I'll let you be the judge.
When these young lads walk through these doors and become inmates, I stand them where you are now, and I say, what?
You blew it, kid.
I say, forget what might have been. 3 words, Alan. 3 words that are banned in my office. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Should have done this, should have done that. You didn't. Could have done this, could have done that. You didn't. Would have done this, would have done that.
You didn't.
No, you didn't.
I liked Maurice. His inspirational shtick could be a little preachy, honed by Sunday mornings spent as a Christian minister. But if he thinks we have a soul inside us, like some sort of holy spleen, where's the harm in that?
Because you know what the prize is, huh? It's the future. What's the prize?
The future.
Wrong, no. Not the future, a future.
As a boy's eye.
Because changing direction is a choice. But whose choice?
Mine.
It slowly dawned on me Maurice was asking questions he knew he and I both knew the answers to, which felt like cheating. Then again, although a bit simplistic for the likes of me,
Where is it?
Behind you.
it was perfect for daft lads.
But first, how many of you out there are 100 years old? More than you might think. National statistics say there are 14,000 centenarians in the UK.
And that's enough to fill the Birmingham Arena.
Wow.
Yeah, although presumably they need a lot more toilets.
The latest addition to that exclusive 100 club received her telegram from the Queen this very morning. And as her granddaughter writes, she's a big fan of this show. Aw, here's what she wrote.
20 seconds.
Where's my fucking water? I made it very clear I need a glass of water after exercise, or else white saliva forms at the corners of my mouth. Whose is this?
That's mine now. Careful, it's fizzy.
What?
And I'm delighted to say Rose Haig joins us on the line now. Rose, are you there, my love?
Well, of course I'm here. Where else would I be?
Rose, many congratulations. It's Excuse me. Congratulations.
Hello?
There we go. Rose, can you tell us where...
No, leave it here. Here! Because if you leave it there, I can't reach it, you stupid girl.
Rose, I believe your father was a captain
Now, of course,
stationed in the
I
army.
grew up in the right, 1930s.
Yes.
It's perfectly pleasant. One can be rather misty-eyed. Of course, the hangover was rather botched. Mountbatten did what he could, poor old Dickie, Ratchet.
That's lovely. I was just wondering about the secret to your old age.
I'm talking, young man. You
Sorry.
normally interrupt people when they're speaking.
I've been called a young man for quite some time.
Stop mumbling. Why are you staring at me? What's your name?
I'm a Partridge.
Your point being, we had a houseboy. Not a friend, you understand, an
Right.
employee.
Okay.
He used to run errands, and we called him Brownie.
Right.
Not the sharpest of fellows, but curiously, he was not an Indian.
Okay.
He was a Negro. And they are very different, because whilst physically stronger, they...
Oh dear, we seem to have lost Rose there. But yes, a great achievement and a colourful character.
Different times, and apologies there for the wind and the racism.
Less morning has broken, more morning has soaken, since every morning I have soaken or soaked my bed with perspiration. For this is the night sweats. This is the amount of sweat squeezed from the pillow of an ordinary sleeper. It's empty. This is the amount of sweat squeezed from my sheets after they were passed through a mangle. For I have the night sweats. But it's not just sweat I'm lying in, it's shame. I'm tired of waking up twizzled in damp duvet. Something needs to change.
Gate.
So I've come to the blandly named West Sussex Sleep Clinic. After filling in a needlessly detailed questionnaire, it was time for Jim Jams and watery squash.
These are my co-sleepers. Hi, Janet. They are amongst the worst sleepers in Britain. They are absolutely hopeless at it. But the chinwag over a glass of squash reminds us that we're not suffering alone. But our collective lack of sleep has rendered us all pretty irritable. Malcolm, there in the green sweater, thinks he's the bee's knees when he's not. Janet seems to think we want to know all about her. And Paul, Stripey Paul, is sad because he's got a dead dog. I'm going to make my excuses before someone gets chinned.
Back in my room, with my head sporting more cables and lights than my assistant's modem, I was ready. And so to sleep, perchance to sweat.
Fascinating stuff, and I'm joined by the clinic's sleep disorder consultant, Dr. Susan Lyle. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. You took a peep at my sleep. What did you reap?
Okay, so yes, reviewing that night, so we can see that you were really quite restless, yeah, and quite fidgety here as well, but that's really very common, especially with light sleepers. It's really the brain's reluctance to enter into sleep mode.
Busy.
But it's also a sign of stress and anxiety as well, which we know can be a key cause of heavy nighttime perspiration.
I'm just going to spool on.
There's a moment coming up here, which is something I think you should see, because what happens round about 1:30 is you enter something called stage 4 of NREM, and it seems that the cause of your night sweats is actually a different condition.
What?
I think what we're seeing here is parvor nocturnus, or night terrors.
Oh, my God. The last time my legs flailed like that was in a tent during an altercation with what I can only describe as a very big bee.
So what sort of thing do you have nightmares about? What scares you? So you've not been involved in anything traumatic or upsetting?
I recently abseiled down the side of the Shard for charity.
What? When?
Or was that a dream? I was doing it for the RSPCA, so yeah,
It
so yeah,
must
it
have been a dream. Must
yeah,
have been a
yeah.
dream. It's very disturbing.
Don't want to talk about him anymore. Tell me about you. You work at the clinic where I went, but I didn't see you.
Oh, no, but I could see you on the monitor.
Ah.
Well, I've worked there for 12 years, so yes, I've watched thousands of people sleeping.
Right, and do you enjoy it?
Yes, I love it. It's very rewarding.
Right, and why?
Well, something about observing patients as they sleep. I feel like I'm a guardian angel, you know, watching over them, protecting them.
But how are you protecting them?
Well, in that they're in my charge, so I could harm them, but I choose not to. So I suppose in that regard I'm protecting them from the darker side of human nature that is within us all.
Susan, great having you on the show. I don't have any more questions. Simon, do you? No. Good. I'm going to let you go.
I'm happy to talk
Nah.
more. You don't want me to stay for the phone?
Nah. Instead, let's talk to viewers and ask, what do you dream about? The lines are open, so tell us what you ponder in the land of Nod. Now it's time for Who Does Alan Think Alan Is?
Who do you think you are?
Just to explain, the sense of that line was not properly explained to the voiceover artist before she went into the booth. By the time I found out, she was already in a cab. Complete waste of 30 quid. She sounds like she's been touched on a bus. My main guest today is one of the genealogists from BBC One's Who Do You Think You Are? Please welcome Henry Spring.
Hello. Our journey begins with your great-grandmother, Annie Partridge. Do you remember her?
I do, Granny Annie. She died when I was a toddler. She used to make me chucky egg. Egg and butter chopped up in a bowl. You add that to your files. Send it to the boys at WDYTYAHQ. Who do you think you are, headquarters?
Ah. Well, like many women of her time, she was a stay-at-home mum, wasn't she?
She was unemployed, yes.
But what you might not know is that if we delve one generation further back, we find she had an aunt who lived quite near here, so that would have been your great-great-aunt.
It's fascinating. Please tell me more.
She lived in a semi-detached house in Sheringham at the very end of the 19th century.
That must have been one of the first semi-detached houses in Norfolk.
Not in Norfolk, but it may have been one of the first in Sheringham.
But that's still fascinating. It sends a shiver down your spine.
Do you want me to get you up?
Rest in peace. Great aunt. What's her name?
We don't know. We just have the initial E.
Rest in peace, Mrs. E. Was she married?
We don't know that either.
Well, rest in peace, E. Partridge. What was the joke you were going to do?
I was just going to say, shall I go and get you a hot water bottle when you said you had a children in your spine?
Oh, yeah. No, that's good, yeah. I think I was right to stop you there.
Oh, yeah.
Henry, I'm right, am I not, that my distant relative was involved in perhaps one of the most important pieces of town planning that Norwich has ever seen?
Well, he worked in the Office of Town Planner.
Changing what was Deering Square into what is now Deering Lane.
They effectively made it a thoroughfare, yes.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the number of times I've parked on that road. Never knew. I mean, I know it's loading only, but you park there after 6, they never get you.
Right.
I almost feel like crying.
Certainly made getting into the centre of town that bit more straightforward.
And the rest. If it weren't for Deering Lane, you'd have to come in on the ring road. I mean, it's just amazing that an ancestor man had to wrestle with that awful decision. I mean, on the one hand, the square gave people somewhere to sit, a respite from the frenetic pace of life in Norwich. And yet on the other, I mean, direct access to Hobbs Road must have been like the promised land to civil engineers, cutting journey times from the east half of the city in half. It was caught between a rock and a hard place. It must have been ruddy hard. I sent a shiver down my spine. Another one. That's the second one in half an hour. I almost feel like I should get a hot water bottle to reheat my spine. And there we have it, a brief but fascinating exchange between Jenny Gresham and the Princess Royal. Plenty to unpack. We learned Her Royal Highness is, in her words, very well, and pleased that she could be here. She went on to describe her duties as varied and talked about her affection for her family. Good, solid stuff.
Now, though, it's time to hear from you at home as we ask for your thoughts on what the future holds for Britain's favourite family. Of course, we've also been asking for your encounters with royalty, and don't forget to share your tips on modern-day etiquette. Keep those coming in. And tomorrow, should we scrap HS2?
Jesus Christ.
Well, we do need to hear viewers.
Why? Why do we need to hear from the viewers?
Tell us what you think. Join the conversation. Get involved. Share your views. Is it snowing where you are? Do you like fireworks? What's your favourite soup? Who gives a shit?
Excuse me, apologies for the language there.
Michael Gove said we've had enough of experts. Do you know who I've had enough of? Idiots.
I'm not sure I'd call our audience idiots.
Look at the tweets, Jenny. I mean, read the mailbag. Everyone at the BBC thinks it. They never say it publicly, of course, but behind closed doors, whispered in the corridors, that's where you hear the truth. They think Countryfile is boring, they don't understand darts, and they don't really care about your opinion.
The BBC is committed to letting ordinary people have their say.
There's nothing in between. It's either BBC 4 Live from the Hay on Wye Book Festival, or other people telling us they think dogs are better than cats. You feel like throwing open your windows and saying, I am hopping mad and I want something in the middle.
Are you finished?
Julian Fellows. I don't like Julian Fellows.
What's that got to do with your argument?
Nothing. I just don't like him.
Well, I'm sure, Simon, we have plenty of viewers getting in touch with their royal stories.
Well, actually, we're getting people shouting Alan's slogan from their windows and tweeting in to let us know. Let's see, we've got Bournemouth, I'm hopping mad, I just want something in the middle. Southend, I'm hopping mad, I want something in the middle. Same with Warrington, I'm hopping mad, something in the middle. Hull.
I've touched a nerve. Anything from London?
Nothing from London, no.
Well, we're in London. Let's go and have a look. Terry, come with me. Simon, do you want to come?
No.
I'm sorry I clouted you.
It's all right.
Everyone, go to your windows, open your windows, and just shout out at the top of your voice, I'm hopping mad and I want something in the middle. This way. Follow me, Terry. I can hear them now.
Okay.
Keep shouting. Keep shouting. Hey, you. Say that again. Say the whole thing. Right, so you get that. Cheers. Cheers! Good. They're all saying it. Yeah, all right, whatever. Fucking idiot. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Anyone else hopping mad who just wants something in the middle? No, we can't count you twice. Anyone else? Any more? No? I mean, that's 3 people. They say for every person who complains, there's another 20 who silently agree, so that's 60 people in this area at least. Minimum. You roll that out across the country, it's got to be 1 million. Good evening.
Good evening, and welcome to This Time with me, Jenny Gresham, and the man I am delighted, no, tickled pink, to announce is my new permanent co-host, Alan Partridge.
I'd like to tickle you pink. Tickle you pink.
So, end of an era, start of a new one.
Thank you. So many messages, the vast majority being positive. Also had a great meeting with the team. Had a few drinks, a few canapes, said a few words. You respect me, I'll respect you. It's as simple as that. It was a good atmosphere, yeah. Now, plenty in store tonight.
First, it's National Teenage Week. So every day we've been focusing on a different aspect of teenage life and getting down with Britain's youth.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look.
What's up?
And we're off.
Yeah.
Fine.
Now very quickly, now we're co-hosting, we should probably meet at mine for lasagna once a week. Just to get to know each other, foster a bit of rapport. Doesn't have to be lasagna, it could be fish and chips on the cenotaph with a couple of cans.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, I think
Good.
it's a great idea.
Thank you.
All right. No, it's good. And you're right about the chemistry. It's all about the chemistry.
Great.
I feel like the audience can just smell insincerity.
Absolutely.
It's like an animal instinct.
It is an animal instinct. Have you ever seen Noel Edmonds talk to contestants? They won't let cats in the studio because they start to hiss. Yeah.
Well, look, I think it'll be fun because it will give us a chance to air any concerns, any quibbles, and it'll be great.
This is Dale.
Oh, hi, Dale. I'm Jenny. Nice to meet you.
What do you mean quibbles? What do you mean?
I'll tell you later.
You can't do that. Tell me now. You can't do that. Tell me.
All right, fine. It's your diction.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Tomorrow, our focus is on teenage angst and the troubling issue of self-harm.
Well, that's a tough issue, actually. The closest I've ever come to self-harm, I guess, would be I used to pluck nasal hairs when I was angry with myself after a show had gone badly. Sometimes poke my skin with one. I think that would make a good sword for an ant.
But today, we look at youth unemployment, a trend that has caused particular decay among Scottish inner cities.
And yet I know, anecdotally, from friends with large gardens that Scottish people can make great workers. It's a shame.
We're joined on the sofa by Dale Daniels, himself long-term unemployed, who now campaigns to improve prospects for Scottish youth.
Dale, thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
Aye.
Now, you're furious, aren't you? Even for a Scot.
Well, so should everyone be, huh? And they've
Absolutely.
a so-called developed nation, you know, letting kids rot away in these estates, huh? When I
Indeed.
grew up...
I thought you were... Please.
When I grew up, there was industry, there was factories, and shipbuilding in the Clyde, you know, work if you wanted it. That's not there anymore, huh? And
Absolutely.
What?
Sorry.
So what happens? You know, I mean, kids fall into a cycle of crime and we lay the blame at them. But we did that, huh? You don't agree?
No, I do.
So how do we get out of this vicious cycle? Is it education, training?
Aye, but it's bigger than that, eh?
Eh.
It's, you know, it's about seeing the world from, well, from their point of view, huh?
No.
You know, we closed down Sure Start and football pitches and youth centres and you wonder why the kids get any bother, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you have any kids, huh? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I've got a 13-year-old, yeah, and that's why I'm saying to the government, all you're doing is building problems for the future, huh?
It's amazing, because weirdly what you're saying actually makes sense.
Eh? Aye.
Aye.
Good.
Good. Jenny.
Well, thank you so much, Dale Daniels. Finding the time to stay in shape isn't easy. I donned my sweatbands and leotard to find out how one street in Walsall are getting in shape.
Hello, good evening, and aha! 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 Hey, you sick of it yet? Huh? I'm not, it doesn't bother me. Yes, good evening and welcome to Alan Partridge will rock you into Forward Solutions with Whiskers. What happened to the thunder flash? That's supposed to blow up when I point at it like God. And then I was going to say Alan Partridge will rock you into Forward Solutions. What? Yes, with Whiskers. I'd like to start by thanking my dance troupe, my cheerleaders, Hot and Pot, collectively known as Hot Pot. There used to be 3 of them. They were known as Hot Pot and Red Cabbage. But due to the credit crunch, I had to let Red Cabbage go. There they are. Hello, girls. Getting changed. Oh, saw your bra. They don't mind. Really? OK, I'll go over here. Bras are interesting, aren't they? They used to be all lift and separate. Now it's all squash them together. Make your minds up, girls. Oh, bras. Jesus. I do not believe that was an accident. OK, let's begin. Let me start by taking you back in time to late August. I was sitting on the teak veranda of the Admiral's Cocktail Lounge in Bournemouth. You won't know it, it's members only. As I was sitting there, sipping a cool glass of white wine, sandwiched between Monty Don and TV's Alistair Stewart from Police Camera Action. And I remember thinking to myself, Alan, you crazy mofo. It doesn't get much better than this. I remember Monty was refilling my glass with a crisp Australian white. He's always got dirt under his fingernails, Monty Don. I don't mind, he's a gardener. Yeah. You see, the same thing on the Pet Shop Boys, and it's a little bit unsavoury. But as I was sitting there, enjoying the good life, my mind drifted back to that time 5 years earlier when I shat my pants in PC World. I just had a major television chat show cancelled, and as with any major trauma, something had to give. That something, in my case, was the small valve at the base of my lower intestine. But I didn't panic. Fortunately, I was wearing my M&S cellular briefs, which acted as a kind of makeshift hammock. I was lonely and I was depressed. I checked into the Ibis Hotel in Canary Wharf, where I paid £14.50 to watch Billy Elliot. And that film inspired me. I thought, if that small gay Geordie can overcome prejudice and bigotry and being a Geordie, then I can overcome my problems. People can change. Countries can change. Look at Wales. 5 years ago, nobody gave a damn about Wales. Now they make Doctor Who there. In fact, look inside a Dalek, you may well find a bitter ex-miner at the controls.
And here is the woman herself to tell us more about her new series that shines a light on women in science. It's writer and broadcaster Dee Gilhooly.
Just to clarify, by the way, some viewers may mistakenly think that your second name is Hooley and your first name is Deagle. In actual fact, your second name is Gilhooly, your first name is Dee. That's a full name, not an initial.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Wicked to be here.
Cool.
So you're perhaps best known as one of the regulars on Radio 4's Woman's Hour.
Which, by the way, guys, well worth a listen.
Oh, I wouldn't have had you down as a fan, Alan.
Well, it's a curious story. I was actually stuck in traffic and Classic FM were playing music from an advert which I dislike. So I found myself listening to Woman's Hour and I thought, this is actually good.
Tell your friends.
I did. I told 10 men and they will tell 10 men and they will tell 10 men to tell 10 men to tell 10 men. It sounds like the kind of song you'd sing on a coach trip, but it's actually true.
Now, your radio series focuses on trailblazers and groundbreakers in the field of science.
Bang on, yeah. It's a chance for some brilliant, lesser-known women to have their stories told, you know what I mean? So, with all due respect to your Ada Lovelaces or Rosalind Franklins, we're going to be looking at women under the bonnet, as it were, the fuel in the turbocharger.
Because there's some fascinating women here. We're talking Vera Rubin, Nettie Stevens, Cecilia Payne. I mean, brilliant women.
Oh, kick-ass women. Yeah, Cecilia Payne's actually is an amazing story. A British astronomer, got her doctorate at 25, boom. And she wrote a paper on the composition of the stars, but was persuaded not to publish it by her colleague Henry Norris Russell. Years later, her findings were published and credited to, you've guessed it,
Henry Norris Russell?
Bingo. You still with us, Alan?
Yeah. See, I'm sorry to... Actually, it makes me physically sick to say this, but I was miles away. Which shows this is a real problem within men, isn't it? What I will say, the purposes of clarification, is you don't put fuel in a turbocharger. It's a small turbine housed within the exhaust that utilises excess gases, loops them back round, increases power output. So small capacity engine, big hike in power, very efficient. That was told to me by an engineer in oily overalls called Karen. Woman.
Fair play. Yeah. Well, because women in jobs like that have to put up with their fair share of jeering, you know, even now in 2018, and they just have to accept it.
If I can just speak as a male, I'm sorry, I have sinned. I've stood on the pavement with other men and slow hand clapped as I watched a woman try to parallel park. And that's wrong. And I think if I saw the same thing happen today, I would just, shout out instructions.
Or just leave her alone.
Yeah, I'd shout out instructions or just leave her alone. I'd ask her which she prefers.
Or just leave her alone.
Or just leave her alone. Yeah.
These issues need to be aired by women. We're still seeing powerful men harassing women when all they want to do is do their jobs and be left alone.
Amen.
Hey, women. I mean, I feel you. I feel you. I don't mean I feel you. I wouldn't do that unless I was your doctor or your boyfriend. But I totally identify with what you're saying.
Well, I think the Me Too's a woman thing, really,
exactly.
isn't it? I mean, I'm not sure it's that helpful for a man to presume to know what that's like, to be honest, but anyway.
Of course it is.
Yes.
If men actually listened to what women were saying on harassment, then they'd shut up and listen, but they don't. So we're still seeing the same things time...
I've been sexually harassed.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware.
It's not quite the same thing that women have been through, but it is a bit. Hilary Couchman, Dr. Hilary Couchman. How long have humans been swearing?
Well, curse words or vulgarities go back really as far as language itself, but when it comes to written English, we find profanities cropping up from the 13th century.
So, something like this, should I wear gloves to handle this?
The protocol is that the curator handles the material.
Oh, OK, right. I'm pretty sure I've seen Dr. David Starkey handling stuff like this on TV. And I've even seen them let Tony Robinson have a fiddle.
The protocol is the curator handles the material.
You said that. Do they ever let you guys go to an area just to relax? Because they should do. Maybe that should be part of the protocol. Swearing, swear words.
One of the more prominent words is the word f***, but too is also common across the Germanic and Scandinavian languages. We also find uses of piss, shit,
What areas would these profanities emanate from? I'm thinking Manchester, Liverpool.
No, from across the whole country.
Okay.
Now, what we have here are parish records from Drayton in Shropshire.
When would that be?
1295.
That's what these trousers cost.
So, what these documents show is how the earliest instances of swear words were typically found in the names of places or people. So, surnames often describe what someone was or did.
Right.
Here we have a listing for Henry F***a-beggar.
Goodness me.
Now, back then, the word f*** didn't have its current meaning.
Okay.
It actually referred to hitting or striking.
Right, good. Well, hence the phrase, let's hire some Albanians to f*** him up.
So there are terms that have fallen out of use. So here in 1740, we have the term Rantalian, which means one whose scrotum is so relaxed as to be longer than his penis.
One wonders whether that's due to a truncated member or distended testes.
Well, I guess it's just chicken and egg. We also find some fairly vulgar slang words for penis, such as beard splitter and arse opener, whilst fellatio was known as bagpiping.
Oh, makes sense.
In the 1785 book, the Classical Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue, we find the term to huffle. Would you like to have a guess at what that means?
Oh, gosh, I'll have a bash. To huffle, the act of putting my head between a lady's breasts and huffling. You get the picture?
No, it's another word to fellate.
Right, okay.
I always find it amusing when I ask people that question, what answer I'll get.
Right, well, that's an interesting part of the protocol. Thank you very much, Dr. Hilary Mantell.
Couchman.
One who likes to squat over another...
It's my surname.
Right, yes, of course. That's slightly hyperventilating then. Used to lead to lead to panic attacks. Jesus, not now. Whew.
What were you getting?
A panic attack. Oh no, the bouquet. Well, I'm not. It's been a while since I've used, wine words.
Oh well, people use all sorts of words to describe wine. I mean, vanilla, melon, straw.
Surely only livestock know what straw tastes like.
It's just a hint.
Yeah, it's just a hint.
And with red wines.
Yeah, wines have hints. Yeah.
Have a go, Alan. What did you get from that?
Pepper?
Yes!
Really?
Yes,
really?
it is peppery.
Yeah. No, that is a very that's a very peppery wine. Lots of pepper, lots of pepper. Yeah, I didn't even have to think of it. As soon as it brought to my nose, bang, pepper. Amazing.
Well, you've got a good nose.
Like you. What's next? That's a very now that's very familiar. Yes. Now that's what is it?
Currants.
No. It's very specific.
Well, it's musky, so.
No.
It's.
No, it's.
Berries?
No, the Rosie, that's wrong.
Sorry. Cherry. Cinnamon?
No. This wine tastes of chewits.
Oh. Oh, well, I've never heard
Have we got any chewits?
Now, this Chardonnay from Devon is exceptionally well balanced.
Rosie, it's great. They're all great. Fantastic.
Nicely fruity with a long finish.
Yeah, it's. What does that mean?
Well, it
long
means
finish.
It means the taste lingers on the palate.
It does. It does. It lingers on the palate. Absolutely.
Like a lazy forklift truck driver. He would linger on the palate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Keep talking.
Well, so it lingers on the palate, and the taste, therefore, will. Oh,
Sorry,
you all right?
Yeah, that's just this thing.
Oh.
Here. There we go.
Just.
No problem. Just go on. So what are you saying?
So is that taste lingering for you?
Yeah. I can still taste it. Definitely. Yeah, still there.
Well, you will. You will for some time.
Yeah, it's got a. Still there.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't wait till the flavour goes before we carry on the conversation, because it's because it's a long finish. It will be there for some time. No, it's gone. Cheers.
So, cheers. Anyway, which of the wines did you like best, Alan? I'm curious to know.
Which is the most? What are the prices individually? Bottle to bottle.
Right. Well, this one here, this is £6. This is £8.95, and this one's quite pricey. It comes in at £12.
That one is the one I think had the best flavour.
Now, this one, it's called White Diamond. Perhaps another one of Kirsty Allsop's bridesmaids.
Did you have a drink before you came on?
It's champagne, lime cordial, big slug of Cointreau, white grape juice, and egg white.
Like poached egg?
Oh, no, it's raw.
For God's sake, Rosie.
What?
You can't eat raw egg. It's a raw egg,
No,
Rosie.
it's a common ingredient.
Sorry, just a disclaimer. Please don't try this at home. Rosie's attempted it here, but in controlled conditions with first aiders on hand. Please cook your eggs. Be safe. Be egg safe.
Rosie, let me pick your brain, because me and my mum, we always go to Queen's for the tennis.
Like this one.
The first cocktail afternoon of the summer. What would you make for that?
It'd have to be a rosemary champagne fizz. So gin, grapefruit, and champagne. It's English, it's fun, it's summer.
Those are the new cocktails, but what about the classics? Rosie, what do you think is the most popular cocktail in Britain?
Espresso martini.
Alan, what do you think?
Mine's gone blank. Shandy.
Well, we hit the streets of Nottingham to find out which came out on top.
And we're off.
That was great. Oh, really, it's okay.
Smells of stuffing. Oh, it's you.
Just to say, I've looked into the annual reports, and it turns out Jenny earns slightly more than you.
Okay.
It's to do with the way the deal is structured. It's an accounting quirk.
Okay.
It's only about £200, but it just means she's higher than you in the list of the BBC's best paid presenters.
Okay.
You okay?
Okay, I'm okay.
So you're in a bit of a pickle. You want more, but you don't want to complain because women have got a bit big for their boots.
Yeah, all right, Lynn, that's for the car, but thanks for the intel. Have a white sparkle.
Okay, places, people.
You like egg, don't you?
And we're back in 5, 4.
So there we have it. The mojito is Britain's favourite cocktail. And Rosie, you're making us one to end the show.
I am. Now, the secret to a good mojito is not to overdo the mint. So, it's lime juice, sugar, a little mint, they're already in the shaker.
Go on, make it then.
And, yes, a handful of ice and a good slug of rum.
Oh, I love rum.
And then you give it a good shake.
Stop looking at me.
Certainly gave that what for.
Would you like to have a go,
No,
Alan?
not me. I never know where to look when I do that sort of thing. It requires a certain kind of confidence that, for whatever reason, I don't have. That's why I don't play the maracas. Give it here. All right.
Stiff.
It's loosening.
Very stiff.
You got it?
All right.
Okay. Take me, take it. I don't know why I did that.
Rosie, thank you very much for joining us. That was great.
It was great. It was really great. What are you doing with my jacket? sorry for bollocking you before about the raw egg thing. But don't do that again.
Oh, and I believe Simon has an email. Simon.
Now it's time to return to Alan's sad stories. So things were going well between Gareth and I, but that was when our relationship took a twist that neither of us could have predicted. Shit, she writes, because Gareth died. But I married his twin brother, because he had a twin brother who was identical. He had eyes like a cow too. So everything was back to normal again. Until one day I discovered Gareth's brother in a compromising position with a box of Quality Street. He'd eaten 3 or 4 in sudden succession and completely ruined his appetite for the chicken dinner I'd so lovingly prepared. I was totally crushed. It was then I realised that Gareth's brother had a chalk problem. Nothing would get in the way of his addiction. The lowest point came when I found him collapsed in a sugar-induced coma in the bogs of Yates's Wine Lodge in Yarmouth. We cried and cried that night. I reiterated my love for him, he reciprocated his love for me, and we shared a chocolatey kiss that will stay with me forever. But it was then that everything changed. Again. Because his weight had ballooned to 20 stone or thereabouts. When he came towards me to hug me, he fell on me and shattered my spine in 3 places. The police didn't believe him, and he was carted off to prison for GBH, or attempted murder, I forget which. I still visit him once a week in prison, and he tells me, Alan, that he tunes into your show, and it offers him great solace, great comfort. Not that the show is aimed at the criminal fraternity in any way. The cons tend to listen to Orbital Digital, as many of them have learning difficulties. I should add, the reason I was able to visit him was because of a pioneering operation which enabled me to walk again, because they replaced my spine with a new one made of carbon fibre, which is actually the material they use in the engine blocks and chassis for Formula One cars. It's actually lighter than aluminium. Yours sincerely, Deirdre. P.S. Unfortunately, I can't remember what our favourite song was. What a sad story. OK, now, please do keep your calls, texts and faxes coming in on today's big question, which is, how often should you wash your towels? Ted in Wisbeck has been in touch. I don't use towels. I use a hairdryer set on cool. It takes a bit longer, but it feels lovely. And I finish off with a little talc for my testes and bum. Lovely stuff. Yesterday's quick-fire phone-in only yielded 3 calls. My mistake. I think panel beating was too narrow a topic. So today we're going to open it out with the question, what is the best thing? What's the best thing of all? So far we've got Sky Plus, a cup of Brazil nuts, that was amusing, livestock, valid, and wet wipes. That was a fascinating call from an elderly lady in Hempton. Let's have some more. Line 2.
The first smile of a newborn.
Who could not like that? Who could not like that, though?
Herod?
Yes, Herod. That's right. He was a baby killer.
He enjoyed... Yes, he killed lots of babies.
He did. We don't like him. Line 4, Sean.
Oh, it's got to be your radio show, Alan.
Oh, yeah, I have no need to... You've saved me a lot of money on toilet paper now, because you've already done the job for me, as it were.
You're arse licker.
Yeah, all right. Well, obviously that's the